Hi, I'm Yannick Hanfman.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
This is Sebastian Wolfner.
It's Marc-Andrea Whistler.
I am Francisco Cerundolo.
And you're listening to the Game to the Podcast. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Novak Djokovic comes in, he steals the title, he wins the 23rd Grand Slam. He's the first guy in history to win 23 Grand Slams.
Alcaraz is going to win Roland Garros this year. He wants to be the greatest player. He wants to emulate some of the big goats of the game. I think Iga's going to win Roland Garros and win it back to back. It doesn't happen often.
Iga Swiatek, who's going to be picking up her third, and in the men's, Daniel Medvedev.
Rude winning Roland Garros. Ostapenko is going to get her second Roland Garros title.
Carlos Alcaraz is going to win the men's side. Iga Swiatek is going to win on the women's.
Daniil Medvedev and Jessica Pegula will bring home the trophies this year.
Novak Djokovic clinching his 23rd. And then on the women's side, we're going for Ostapenko.
On the women's side, been on fire, has won titles on every surface. Her name is Elena Rybakina. And on the men's, Carlos Alcaraz will win his first French Open.
Novak Djokovic is the 2023 Roland Garros champion.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Here we are, another podcast, another day of French Open action comes to a close. And, well, it's been an exciting day 5. There's been some dramatic matches out on court, and we've got some really, really good youngsters who are still on the move through the tournament. We're going to be speaking about all of that in this one. But the big one, JG's Player Roulette, is no more, and that is the carrot man himself, Mr. Carota, Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, I'm just really pleased Ben got the days right for the intro today, so he does know what day we're on at Roland Garros, so that's a good start. And like you said, big news is, of course, my guy, Yannick Sinner, the guy who was my Player Roulette, the one who everything seemed to open up with Daniel Medvedev going out. Quite frankly, couldn't handle the pressure. And I think, this is my theory, maybe with Medvedev going out so early, that added bit of pressure on his shoulders has caused him to crumble like he did today. Because now people are starting to talk about him as a potential favourite to get to the final. I'm not saying favourite to win it, but a good chance to get to the final because he avoided Djokovic and Alcaraz. And it all become a little bit too much. And I mean, he had so many chances. I know you got to watch a lot more of the match than I did. I've just had to watch highlights. But yeah, take me through it, Ben. What went wrong with Jannik Sinner today?
Well, just for starters, I thought it was an incredible match. My favourite match of the championship so far. The level was incredibly high throughout. And Jannik Sinner, unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but if you don't, Sinner lost this match, as Jose Morgado says. He did have 2 match points in the 4th set. He was serving as well. He got broken and then proceeded to go on and lose in that set, lost a tie break, and then we went into the deciding 5th, which was still competitive. It was a really, really competitive 5th set, and Jannik Sinner still had opportunities, I felt, to go on and win in that 5th set as well. But this just seems to be a little bit like a mental block, I feel, on his side, where just when you think he's going to do it, he suddenly starts to bottle it a little bit. And he got broken. He broke back at the death. I mean, I think it was Altmaier. He was having to serve out for the match, and he sort of got a bit nervous, and that's fair enough. I mean, you're in probably the biggest match of your life. And he got broken. It went back to 5-5. But then just goes and Jannik Sinner was down love 40. After breaking him to go 5-5, he went love 40 down on his own serve. I mean, it's just not good enough. And then to get all the way to that final game, he still had break points. There was 4 match points. Then there was 3 break points for Sinner as well. He was saving like some of these match points with incredible shots. And I was thinking, wow, he's actually going to do it. He's actually going to turn this around again and show he's actually made of sterner stuff. But unfortunately, same old story. And Jannik Sinner loses in 5 again.
Well, to turn the narrative a little bit, so we're not just beating up Sinner here on this stream, because I don't like to do that too much, because I think he is a promising player for the future. I thought Daniel Altmaier was amazing. Let's not take too much away from his performance out there.
Incredible.
He was special. And how long was the match, Ben? I was just trying to find it here.
5
I know it was a
hours,
really long
28.
one. 5 hours 28. It's got to be the longest of the championship. Unless Varias went further, I'm not sure. I know he had a long one as well.
I think so.
This is an absolute monster match, and Altmaier stayed in there right to the end. He can't be used to playing this length of tennis ever. Altmaier, he's not played in that many slams in his career, and I thought this was magical from him. And listen, I'm going to be wishing him well in the next few matches, because if he can produce this kind of tennis, he can do and beat other players and go quite far in this event. So credit to him. And also another thing I want to say, apart from just Yannick Sinner bottling it, is from a neutral's perspective, I think, like you said, this is probably the match of the tournament. I don't think anyone would have left that court being disappointed after being able to watch that, because it had a little bit of everything. He refused to give up right at the end, Jannik Sinner, even when he got broken when he was, well, what happened? No, he broke back and then got broken straight away. And then he had more break point opportunities. Yeah. So he was going right to the end. And in another day, he could have won that match. And, well, let's hear what he had to say after the match. I know he did in the press conference talk about it. And he said, I gave everything I had. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been on the court for 5.5 hours. Maybe I should have been happier to be in that position. Today, I wasn't smiling inside. This will serve as a lesson for me. What does that even mean?
Exactly. Right. I was thinking the same thing. I wasn't smiling inside.
Was he going through some issues mentally? Is this him confessing to the fact that he was happy that he could even push it this long because he wasn't having a good day?
I don't know. There's still part of me that there are questions a bit over Jannik Sinner, and I feel that maybe he has these same doubts in his own mind when he gets to the depths of matches, in the deep in Grand Slam matches. He doesn't seem to be able to, I don't know, deal with the mental struggle of the game. That is one of the biggest things that every player has to overcome to be a real great tennis player. And I feel that he's been unfortunate, and maybe he's just played some players who are lower ranked than him, who are like today. Altmaier wasn't playing like his ranking. I think it was 68 or something in the world. He was playing probably like a top 20, top 15 player. It was incredible. Some of the shots, his single-handed backhand.
79 before the tournament began.
Okay, yeah. So his single-handed backhand was unbelievable. I mean, it was one of those shots that you just think, wow, I just wish I could hit a ball like that. It was almost Federer-esque style, some of the passing shots he was doing. But for Jannik Sinner, I feel like that's what I feel like he's talking about here today. He wasn't smiling inside, but is that an admission that he doesn't have that level of fight inside? He's not finding something within himself in these moments?
I think it's still too early to say, because I've always defended Sinner in big moments, because I've always said he's had a really tough draw. This is the one event, in fact, the only Grand Slam I can recall where he's not had a tough draw. Every Grand Slam, he always has tough opposition. And, well, bring up the next one, because we can see how many matches he's lost against some of these top players. So this is his last 4 Slam losses. Roland Garros, sorry, let's start from the bottom. So, why did it say WC? Wimbledon? What's WC? I'm trying to work out.
Yeah, Wimbledon. It is Wimbledon.
I know it's Wimbledon.
Yeah.
What's
Wimbledon
WC?
Championship. Yeah,
Wimbledon weird way of putting
the toilet, isn't it? WC.
Yeah, weird. I was just thinking wild card, lucky L, and then it's weird. But yeah. Wimbledon to Djokovic, 3 hour 39, was 2 sets up, as we know. US Open lost to Alcaraz, 5 hour 18, had a match point. Australian Open lost to Tsitsipas, 4 hours and 2 minutes, and now this one with Altmaier. So you can look at the other ones, Tsitsipas, Alcaraz, Djokovic. They're 3 top level players. And that's what I've always been in his defense. He's come so close to beating 3 top level players and couldn't do it. Here, Altmaier's not a top level player, and he had match points and didn't take it. So this is the one situation where we've seen fragility on him in the latter end of a match. And it's not because he's playing someone really good.
I saw a contrasting tweet to this one, which it spelled out the same thing, but it spelled it out in a slightly different way. I don't have it. I just remember seeing it earlier, and it read the same exact things, that he went out to Djokovic in 5, the eventual winner. He went out to Alcaraz in 5, the eventual winner. He went out to Tsitsipas in 5, the runner-up in the Australian Open. And then it says Altmaier, ? Maybe he will be an eventual winner or final. But if he is, then it keeps the run going. But that was the narrative they were going with.
Yeah, and that's the thing, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be tired. If he manages to...
Well, we've got Rune there. I think Rune's looking good, and he's also had that extra rest with Monfils pulling out.
Yep. Dimitrov next, and that's not easy. Dimitrov went through convincingly in straight sets.
And someone else, Ben, who we've not been talking about, who is your player roulette.
My player roulette, yes, indeed. We can't forget him. It is Mr. Borna Coric, and he went through in 5 today. I was worried this morning. I was thinking, oh no, I bet Coric goes out, Sinner goes through, and then you're going to be bragging on here. Little did I know, they both went to 5, and Coric just dug in the 5th set. It was entertaining. I wouldn't say it was as dramatic as the Sinner match, but it was. I'm saying not the most exciting of matches, but it was a very gritty performance from Borna Coric. He dug in and managed to, I think it was 2-1 down, came back and managed to win in 5. So, and as you can see here, after semi-finals in Madrid and quarterfinals in Rome, he's the favourite to reach the quarterfinals in the very open section. So
yeah, and the reason I sent you this tweet is because it's interesting, because yesterday on our podcast, our roundup one, go check it out if you've not seen it. We was talking about Djokovic and a few other top players as well, Stearns being one of them. We not obviously today's just this day's tennis, so I'm not going to talk about that again. But what I completely forgot what I was saying now.
About Coric.
Yeah, sorry. You showed me the graphic yesterday, didn't you? And we had Sinner at the top of one of them and Coric at the top of the other. Now, with Sinner coming out of that, no Medvedev and no other big players, Coric has a real shot of getting all the way to a quarterfinal.
Yeah, it really
you must feel really optimistic about it.
I am, but I still believe that there's some very tough matches on the way, and he's just knocked out one Argentinian in Cashin, and I feel that the next Argentinian is even better, which is Echeverri, and that's who he's got to play next. And I'm actually more worried about that match for sure. Echeverri just destroyed at De Minaur in straight sets. That's going to be a tough match. Echeverri, no schmuck, as we know. And then after that, could potentially be old Thiago Selboc Wild. Maybe, or Nishioka.
It's the Wild.
Yeah, that's it. I was going to do a little fun game on here and see if we could both... I've listened to the pronunciation of his name, see if we could both replicate it. But maybe I'll say that. Yeah, there was an amazing recording that I found of it and somebody saying it. And I thought it was making me chuckle trying to actually impersonate. So I thought maybe we could both have a go at it. But maybe we'll do it on tomorrow's one. We'll
do it when he beats Coric.
Well, maybe we'll do it when if he beats Nishioka first, because he's going to have to play him first. But yeah, I'm worried about the Echeverri match. I feel that one could be another 5-setter. Yeah. So moving on to the next one, and well, we've got to speak about this because it was one of the last matches on. It was Taylor Fritz. He does make his way through. He defeated the last Frenchman that was in the tournament. And this one saying, well, this was a very, very, very stupid idea from Fritz. What the hell was he expecting when playing the last French stand in the tournament? I'll never understand players from a slam country not being able to hold it together in a hostile atmosphere. And he, after winning, was shushing the entire crowd, even during his final celebrations where he went back out, still trying to silence everybody in the crowd, people booing him, stuff. I mean, is he getting himself into a little bit of bother here in France? Not going to have many supporters in the next round, maybe.
I don't see much wrong with it. I mean, It's not that terrible. when Medvedev did it at the US Open, I held it as for, yeah, it's quite funny. The crowd are giving it. He's giving it back. I didn't see much wrong with it, and I don't see much wrong with it now. I don't think it is a stupid idea. I think it just shows that he's human. And from the first minute, as soon as he walked on court, before he even hit a ball, they were booing him, making just sort of jeering him and saying things and shushing him and just trying to get under his skin. So why can't he do the same thing back after he's won? Why not? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I can understand why he did it, because it was a very hostile environment. And it is a little bit sad that there's no more French players left now, because I would say the crowd numbers and crowd atmosphere at this event this year has only been good for the matches where the French players are. You can maybe say there's been an exception for Djokovic matches. I think there has been some kind of atmosphere. But aside from that, I mean, the women's ones have been dreadful. The only real bit of adrenaline and rush from the crowd has been when there's been a French player. And now Rinderknecht, the last one left, he's out. We're not going to get anything. We just got to rely on Djokovic to have a run. And this guy, certainly, he's not going to get any love now. He's going to get booed the whole time. But might spur him on.
They might turn up just to boo him, though. So the crowds might be packed for the Taylor Fritz matches now.
Well, it might motivate Fritz even more. You might want to keep winning.
It's all a bit of fun. And at the end of the day, if he endears himself to the French crowd in another match, then maybe he wins them all back over. And it's like this fun little relationship like Medvedev did.
He did write a tweet not too long ago, but I didn't send it to you. And that was how he was referencing the fact that he only asked one question. That's because answered one question. And that was because he was told there's only going to be one question. So it's not like he walked off. And the second part is, as he left, he did wait around on court and signed loads of autographs for kids as well. So I think he was just more annoyed with the section of the crowd who were jeering him and sort of getting under his skin the whole match. And he still showed a little bit of love to the people who were there for him.
Yeah, I think he's a great professional, and a very likable guy as well. So I don't think you can hold it against him. He's obviously playing up to the crowd. No one would hold it against any tennis player that does the same. I actually had shades. Now we're speaking of like crowd shouting. I had shades of awareness whilst watching the match earlier, which was the Coric. Obviously, he was playing Pedro Cashin, and the Pedro, the chants throughout again. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting flashbacks.
Probably the same guy.
Pedro, yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. It was the same chant, relentless. It was going on. I was just hoping it didn't help him, which it didn't, luckily, again. Maybe that chant, they should bin it. Anyway, let's move on.
It probably wouldn't have been the same guy, because I don't think the Portuguese and the Argentines get on too well.
Well, maybe the Knights Templar might have something to do with it. I'm not sure. That's another story altogether.
Private
right. Yeah, exactly right. Isn't that right, Pete? Right. And let's have a look at this one. This one, obviously, wherever Taylor Fritz goes, his girlfriend follows. And his girlfriend is normally there doing some vlogs and running her YouTube, TikTok, whatever the bits and pieces that she's doing. And she was there whilst Taylor Fritz is getting booed by the entire crowd for 5 minutes straight. So she thought she'd just even pull out her camera just to capture the moment. This is true love. Legend. That's it. So
I mean, do you expect me to comment on this? I don't know what to say. There's nothing to it. Just we're going to show it. Just like every other broadcasters, they love to show her as well. So here she is. She's on our screen as well for you guys to look at. And she was taking photos, smiling, having a good time. She was clapping for all the boos as well. Yeah,
That's
she's
nice,
enjoying it, having the time of her life.
I'm sure I'd be having my time of my life if I was just traveling the world and just getting to watch tennis. That sounds like an amazing life to me. Right, on to the next one. And this one, you insisted that we include. It's your mate, Patrick Mouratoglou, coming out again. You can read this one as it's one of your faves.
So Patrick said, I don't understand why people are booing the player who asked to see a mark on clay. It becomes systematic. There is nothing wrong about it, and sometimes the chair umpire will change his call after looking at it.
Agreed.
What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with marking and asking the umpire to. You can always decline, but when you played enough clay court matches, I'm sure all these people who grew up playing on clay, they do that just instinctively. They mark and they debate it a lot of the time, I'm sure. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do, but I don't like the fact that we both are on Patrick's side here.
It's a bit.
I think the issue comes in when people are really challenging stupid calls, and that's what starts all the booing. But when it's a really close one, like the Rune one recently, I forget what match it was, where it was quite clearly in, but they said it was out.
Yes, that was
I think
the
this is
one
probably what
where
he's referring to. It was a recent match, and it was definitely in, and he was like unsure. And the umpire refused to come off his chair. It must have been in Rome.
It was in
refused to get off the chair.
It was. Was it against Casper? Was it against Djokovic? It might have been against Djokovic, actually.
I think it's against Djokovic, yeah.
Because there was 2 instances from the same umpire in one match, and that was one where Rune said, "You always are against me," and there was this big thing saying...
I find it a bit irritating that I didn't like the incident where he just refused to get off the chair. It was like making it all about him. But the problem is you get a lot of the booing because you get players who just challenge anything. Like Zverev's a prime example. I mean, he looks at the floor when it's like nowhere near in. Tsitsipas does it as well sometimes. Them two are some of the worst.
Well, speaking about Zverev, he was obviously the night session match, and some people speaking about the night sessions and quite frankly saying that these night sessions are terrible at the French Open. It's usually the worst value ticket a fan can buy. Top players would rather play in the day than late. I question the notion that they are even the showcase match. Zverev is on Amazon Prime. Fritz is on France TV. Which has more viewers?
Well, it brings back to what we spoke about yesterday, and I was saying, why can't they put a women's match on in the showcase slot of the evening night match? And I've got a lot of comments coming in, actually, on that last video, and everyone's kind of disagreeing with me, saying not enough people are interested in women's tennis and that it shouldn't be like that. You kind of disagreed as well on the podcast, saying that potentially could be too short. I don't know. I don't really know what to read into. I still think there should be women's matches. I'm not going to back down. I think it would be. I think some of the women's matches are more exciting.
Just find the right one, though.
Maybe not this year because I've not seen any, which is really blowing me away.
No.
And I understand that they can be quite quick. That is the other issue. But I think it is what it is. They're not the showcase match anyway. They're only going to be on Amazon Prime. Maybe what they should do is have that match on, but then charge a lot less for the tickets. They shouldn't be paying. You shouldn't be charged so much for just one match. I really don't believe you should be. And you never know how long that match is going to be on for. They need to drastically cut the prices, get as many people in, create a good party atmosphere, get the drinks flowing, let everyone have a good time. That's what it needs to be, more of a festivity. I don't even mind if there's more shouting and stuff going on. I know you sometimes get a bit grumpy and you're like, "Oh, we're talking."
No, I'm changing now.
Sit down like an old man.
I think I'm coming round to the other way these days.
I think you need a little bit of an atmosphere.
I'm sick of it. Yeah, I'm sick of the prim and proper and the way that things used to be done. I think tennis needs a change up. Tennis needs to have proper fans, people who chant, people who maybe disrupt it here and there, but that's just part and parcel of some sport, and you've got to deal with the adversity of the situation.
Well, I'm glad you've come round, Ben. And I admit, I probably was a little bit the other way as well. But as this podcast has progressed, my opinions changed slightly on this matter.
Yeah.
And the longer I do it, the more I'm going for just carnage.
Because that's why I know what I would want, probably, if I go to watch tennis now. Yeah. Like, if I go,
we went to an event which was quite, there was a good atmosphere. And I feel like that was the best match we watched by a long way. Because
exactly. Of well, to speak about these women's evening matches, just a quick one. Look at today's matches, and then this will sort of give you an idea. There were 16 matches on the women's, and 3 of them went to 3 sets. So all straight sets pretty much. So if you put them on the evening, and there was quite a number of breadsticks and bagels flying around as well. So do you really want them in the early rounds? Maybe in the quarterfinals or fourth round, maybe start putting them there.
Okay, and Zverev was 1 hour 59. So what's your point?
Yeah, but that's going to be longer than still the women's matches. Though.
Well, Eagle's 1 hour and a half. It's not that much different.
Yeah, pretty true,
And
actually.
Iga bageled someone. So
I'm not going to.
That's an extreme scenario.
Let me speak about that match. I didn't get to see the Zverev match. I'm not going to be able to comment on it too much, but the level on the Iga match, I'd probably ask for my money back. I think if I'd gone to that on the night session, it wasn't very high, the level. Barely any rallies. Iga made errors to give games away, or she made winners to win games. And Claire Lou,
it's all on her racket, isn't it? She just
had a few good shots. That was it. Claire Lou throughout the match, she played all right, but just not even on the same level, sadly.
Well,
so
let's move on because I know we're going to have got some women's tweets to go through. Just quickly, we'll end on the Zverev ones, and it's not so nice to play when you guys are against us because it's very loud and hostile. But maybe for the next 10 days, I can become French, and we can all be happy when I'm here on court.
Yep.
Quite comedic. I like that from him. Fair play.
The guy said, "Why don't you say something in French to get them on side?" I mean, imagine if he couldn't say anything and all he said
What did he say?
"Merci beaucoup."
Allez.
No, "Merci beaucoup," I think he said. So then they all went, "Hey." It was just a mini one. Lucky he could even say that. Otherwise, he'd been in real trouble. They might have booed him. But let's move away from that and let's move on to something very promising. My dark horse, my number one qualifier. Here she is. It's Mirra Andreeva, and she played fantastically again today. Knocked out Diane Parry in comfortable fashion. It was a 1 and a 2, and what more can you say about her? She's just a force, it seems, to be reckoned with, and she's been speaking very eloquently, very fun on the mic, and talking like future Grand Slam champion, maybe. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but she seems like older than her years. That's all I would say.
I mean, I really like her. She said the dream. I know Djokovic did 22 Grand Slams, so I want to get 25 if it's possible. I don't know. Maybe I'll just play. For now, my goal is to win my next match. If I win this match, to win the next match again. That's it. And she's a fearless dreamer. She looks so young there when you look at her in the photo. But I tell you what, she has got a heart of a lion on the tennis court and nobody will want to play her. She has been the standout performer of this Roland Garros. Her and Stearns as well, two young guns. I think they're brilliant. And it's been, without them two, I mean, I'd have been a little bit disappointed with what I've seen on the women's. Granted, Sabalenka's made it look very easy. Iga has too much quality for everyone else, similar with Rybakina. But them two haven't looked as good as probably Sabalenka has. But this girl has just been, I don't know, just special. And I love, like you say, when she's on the mic, she's a really good personality. And I'm willing her to win every match. And today, it was a great match from her because she won extremely comfortably, just after, I think it was just over an hour, 6-1, 6-2 against Diane Parry, someone who has the ability to beat big players. We know what she did to Krajcikova. Was it? She beat Krajcikova last year, didn't she?
Yeah. First round. Yep. You got it
and
right.
This year, who did she beat?
This year, Diane Parry went through against in
the
Kalinina. She was obviously in the final of Rome, so a very good player. And don't forget, she came into this in amazing form, Parry. She came in, I believe she won a tournament just beforehand. So she came in great form and she made it look easy. I watched this match earlier as well. I thought it was dominant and it almost looked like she was another level above. And Parry was struggling with a bit of confidence, it seemed, despite the crowd being on her side. There seemed like there was a big section of the crowd there for Mirra. I really like that as well. Her confidence in big moments of the match is the thing that really impressed me about her. Even on match point, it was you could easily come in around the service box and just completely miss-hit it. She steps in right in the corner, massive forehand, completely destroyed the ball, and then just comes to the net, takes all the applause. And I think I saw it at 1 second when it sort of sunk in. She was like, "Oh my word, I'm into the third round." Like she'd sort of let it get to her, and then she was just like, "Way back on to just celebrating again." But it must be a bit like that. Surprising herself every time she goes on the court.
Yeah, and next up's got Coco Gauff, another young player who started her career in a similar way.
What a match.
Yeah, I'm going to be back in Mirra Andreeva. Hopefully she can do it. Let's go.
Yes, that's what I like to hear. Can't wait for that one. And obviously this announcement as well. She wasn't even in the top 300 a few months back, and now she's in the top 100 for the first time. So well done. We applauded Offner. We'll give you a round of applause as well. Look at that. Nice graphic as well. Right, yeah. Last up, is it? I've got some outfit news. You sent me this one. Let's go through for Rebecca.
You've forgotten about it. So it is a notable outfit brand change. I know we do have some people in our comment section on Game to Love who like to know all the brands and who's wearing what. So Elena Rybakina has switched from Adidas to Yonex. The Japanese brand couldn't find a special outfit for the Wimbledon champ though. So opponent Noskova is wearing the same thing. So is that a different brand then? Rybakina using the long sleeve shirt, or it is still Yonex? I can't see because it's not really.
Yeah, I mean it's not it's a bit of a grainy picture, but yeah, I believe she's just having to just wear the exact same thing as her opponent, which probably they could have sort of set out some
match. I watched some of the highlights, but
I didn't see this one. I heard around Twitter that she didn't play amazing, but it seems like you said, she's doing an ego at the moment.
She can do what she needs to right now.
Yeah, she didn't play great against, who was it? Flavitova. Still went. She was down a break a few times in the first set. Doesn't matter. Just wiped her to one side. But
so she's moved up to Yonex. Yonex is becoming really popular, I feel.
Yeah, pretty big brand.
And Technofiber as well.
Technofiber. You got some Technofiber bits, haven't you?
Yeah, I won it when I won that event.
Keyring.
I've got the little dampener as well for the racket. I've got Technofiber balls.
Must be why that serve's so good. Right. Let's just have a quick browse just through some of the other matches, other notable mentions. Let's just go to the top. Obviously, we've got to mention one massive underdog win. Kayla Day going through again. Fantastic for her.
I think Keys is just not good enough. No. She's so weak, man. She can play good every now and then. Kayla Day, I was looking at who she's been playing recently. She's just had a relatively good draw. I can see her going out anytime soon. It's not like a player who I would be fearful of at all. Rebecca, we spoke about Smidlova, fair play. Hadid Maya, she could do some dangerous things. Soribes Torma, I tried telling you, Ben, I do have her in my bracket going relatively far. She could do well. If you keep going down, I don't want to talk about these ones. And Geneva, we spoke about. Iga won, as we know. Jabeur.
Yeah,
Jabeur's doing it. Goff, of course, would be Grabber. Andreescu, what about that?
Yeah.
Andreescu could be playing Iga soon, by the way.
A little resurgence from Bianca. Love to see it. She's playing Sorenko next. Iga will be playing Wang, and the winner of both of those will be going to face each other.
I feel like we're going to see Andreescu, Iga in that one.
I think so. And if Iga plays the way she was playing today in the first set, she may even lose a set. I'm telling you, against anybody with some real intentions, Iga's going to be in trouble because she wasn't playing great. She hasn't played great in either match so far. Hopefully against Wang, she sort of starts to put it together from the off, and then we get to see two good sets from Iga. But yeah, I'm worried, but I'm really excited for Andreescu. Come on. I mean, that's brilliant to see somebody who I've got in my top 10 at the end of the year. That's why I would love to see it.
So moving down
we go. We've been through some of these.
Yeah, we spoke about a lot of
Casper Ruud through as well in that other section. Sinner's
well, he struggled a little bit, Casper Ruud. He was struggling to close out the match in the fourth set. And he got broken back, then broke straight away. So Pieri called a medical timeout, I saw. Literally right in the middle of it all, and caused a bit of a stir.
It was like, it was a bit strange because he because he broke, and then he was so pumped up after breaking, and it was like, oh my God, it's 5-5. He's going to take it to 5. And then suddenly he got broken straight back and then was injured within like a minute. And then he could barely hit he couldn't even move around. And then Ruud just finished him off. It was such an anticlimax, the end of that set.
I think he just cramped up and couldn't handle it.
I'm not sure what happened, but sad to see Karatsev out. Really devastated for him. I mean, TFO.
It's a winnable one. It was definitely winnable.
Big takeaway from that was TFO's lack of unforced errors. So I think he did about 10 in the whole match, and that was a really good performance from him. And Karatsev did about 50. So that's just Karatsev. He goes for it. Some he wins, some he loses. As soon as he went 2-1 down, though, he threw in the towel pretty much. You know what he's like.
Yeah.
Jarry threw again, and should note Olivieri. He's through again as well. Another qualifier. Didn't expect him to be going this far.
Yeah, don't know much about him actually either. But Sarundalo winning, I thought he would. He's doing some amazing things, and I'd like to see him go really far. Runa with the walkover. We spoke about Zverev. We spoke about Fritz and Jaron Lehechka. What do you want to say about that?
Wow. I mean, I didn't have give Jaron a chance. And this whole tournament, he's gone through now 2 rounds. So he's embarrassing both of us. We both went in the brackets and just completely disregarded him. And that's what always happens. As soon as we disregard someone,
there's always a surprise player.
Maybe should have been.
I think Struff could have been here as well, but Lehechka beat him.
Our surprise packages at the moment. How are they looking? I've lost Karatsev. I've also lost Ostapenko and Vekic, and I've only got Mukova, Jarry, and Zverev left. You've got Sarundalo and Ofner, and who else do you have? Towson. Yeah, that's it. So we've both got 3 left on our surprise packages.
Towson being the best.
It's a pretty good one.
Off still going.
Go on off. I can't not cheer him. Love it. Absolutely love it. That's an exciting match that's going to be taking place tomorrow. There will be other matches on. Djokovic for Kina. Make sure to join us for that one. And Alcaraz Shapovalov. Oh my word. That one's the evening match. Do not miss that one. And we also have Ofner playing for Nini. And that one's in around lunchtime. So I can't wait to see how he gets on. Fingers crossed. We'll be cheering you on, Sebastian.
Yeah, and maybe the return of Liam with Schwartzman, Tsitsipas. Doesn't get any bigger than that. But yeah, Potapova, Pavlyuchenkova is another notable match tomorrow. Potapova, someone who I've got going quite fast, so I'm going to be cheering her on. Stearns is playing in the morning, and like you said, Towson at 1 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. But we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and join us tomorrow for more Roland Garros action. And of course, we'll be doing a similar podcast like this very late tomorrow night as well. Thanks for joining, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. See you soon. Vamos, Carlitos.